To check a job out. Beautiful house, right? Oh my lord. Damn. Wow. So I see he's got a laser line here. He's shaved down this board that's created his high point. I understand that's his center beam. But he did a good job dropping that down to what he wanted. The only thing is all this is not level. And I don't even trust any of that stuff either. So I don't know if we're just going with this carrying beams direction or if we're going true level here. Obviously, this looks like an old foundation. Must have been a cistern or whatever. And then that's the old foundation. And then they put granite blocks sitting on top, which is actually the best way to do that. Any granite block lower foundation is the way to go. I'm glad I went in here and looked at this. Oh boy. Yep. All right, that's not connected. That's connected. Yep. Glad I came in here and looked at this because I would not have known about 30% of the job. So, this is what he's replacing. Okay. And I'm catching nails on my boots. So, ceiling's okay in here. Sump pump's working. That was the old basement access. I'm glad he's pulled the nails so he doesn't walk on nails and hurt himself or anyone for that matter. Okay, that's definitely not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. I mean, that's horrible. Not to mention, are those just literally? Nah. It's just a nail. It's a 16-penny nail. So we've got all this weight. Look, the board's already starting to fold. Just on 16-penny nails, no structure grabbed at all. You can't rely on tensile strength. That's not how it goes. I mean, in that, what's going on there? It's all crooked and stuff. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, he needs help. Look at how low that floor is. I mean, it's the perfect time to find the high spot here. It's the perfect time to find the high spot, do exactly what you did here, but notch it into the sill, at least get on top of that granite block, and then run everything. Jack that thing right up, lift it right up level, get everything level. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do some talking, but just to figure out if he doesn't care about level or what. I mean, it's real easy to lift those electric boxes up a little bit. This is way higher than that. Way higher. You can see the drop right there anyway. So, and as you can see, they've tried to carve level out of that beam when really that's not the way to go about it. If we're going to redo this whole thing, we need to redo it level. Why spend thousands of dollars and still have a floor that falls like that? So anyway, God bless you guys. This might be the next job upcoming. So stay tuned. Of course, don't forget about the ceiling. Obviously, there had to have been something bad going on there unless he checked it to see if there was, bug rot. But the thing is you see all the spots on the ceiling. So indicates a lot of water damage. As a matter of fact, let's go on upstairs and just check that out. We got outside water spigot that we could easily just disconnect for the moment. Doesn't have to be right in the middle of our way. But let's go upstairs, and this is a trap. Like, at least put a board there for the moment. So where's the water coming from? If it's not wet here, was it a burst line? Nope, it was most likely this sink. Because yes, that's dropping wallpaper, but there's no water damage on this ceiling. That means this water line or that drain system was leaking. So let's go further and inspect. Oh, I love sailboat pictures. Love them. I mean, that's just a print, but still, it's my fave. Schooners. Okay. I see electrical, but I don't see any plumbing. So where's the drain system for that sink and toilet and all that? Must be coming. Huh. Yeah, that's rough. I don't know what's going on there. Jesus. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. Okay, so yeah, that hole is literally right there. It could have been coming from the window, but it seems to me that the window has been replaced. There is no ceiling damage there, and there's no water line. So it had to have been coming out of the window. No, because the window above is like right here. That's the main water damage. Unless he's already cut the plumbing out. I mean, this isn't what I was hired to come here and look at, but I'm just curious. I build houses for a living. This is what I do. And obviously, we see the height discrepancies here. I don't know if he got into this and realized it was too much for him. I don't know what's going on. But, I mean, maybe he's running a level line off of that center board that isn't even straight. It's carved down this way. And then it comes high point right here and then drops again. So we'd have to run a skill saw level line across that. And it would end up being really thin right here because that's the low part. I mean, yes, I could jack it up over there and then cut and make it the thickness of this here, but it would end up being level and straight. But even then, this stuff is going somewhat nuts to me. Now, I'm the guy to do the level shimming. I'm really good at all that. Like, that's one of my specialties. But I would much rather see this dropped. This is faux. Why make a step up when you don't need it? Cut it down and get, Yeah, we got a lot of work to do here. If the guy will let me come in and get it done the way I would like to get it done, the right way, which would end up being the cheaper way. And it would be the most ergonomical way, as in utilization. How are you going to live here and walk around and feel, and also structure? We can't be doing 16 penny nail on rim joists. It's just not how construction's done anymore. I wouldn't even, if we're having bug rot on the joists, then there's definitely bug rot on the sills, the outer sills. So why think that a 16 penny is going to grab onto a rotten sill board if your interior has been rotten? So, there's a lot going on here. We need vertical upright structure underneath all of these rim joists. either that or we need to notch them like there is here. You see, even in the old days, they understood vertical structure. That is notched. So about right halfway up is notched in, but the hat underneath isn't. So it looks like this. Sorry. It looks like this, and it's sitting into that sill. And it's notched in about 1.5 to 2 inches. But it's grabbing structure. So, I mean, that's the very least that we would want. We've got high joists coming off. You see how that's coming up about 1 inch, and then that is about 1/2 inch, and then that's flush. So it seems to me like he's trying to carry a level line all the way over here, but then it gets lost with this. So we need to, we need to get this figured out and get it done right. That triple carrying beam here, that's already bowing. You see how much bow that has? It's already bowing. And it's gonna rip right off that wall once you put weight on it. Off that rim joist over there. Outer sill? I mean, it's already peeling it off the wall, just the weight of itself. Imagine when we hurricane tie or, joist tie a bunch of joists to it. So we're going to have to figure something out. Mostly is what I do is take the sill out. Take the old sill out, replace it with a 2x10. I can notch it, and I'll even have it notched before I even install it. We can do, a big piece at a time, 16 foot or 10 foot at a time or 12 foot at a time, and even notch them together so they'd be like this, and the other one would come in underneath like that, and it would look like S when they're notched in together. I've done that. I've done that to a house about 10 times this size. And I've also replaced the foundation, about 40 feet of this. We had to pick all the rocks out, remortar it, put it back in with the same rocks. Sucked and vacuumed and, with a vacuum, swept and sucked out all the old mortar that was drying. And we redid the basement. Yeah, it was a lot. But we got it done. And we can do the same here. Matter of fact, with this big base molding, this big 10-inch, 11-inch base molding here, or 9-inch base molding, we've got all kinds of opening. We can open it right up. We have opening already. We have access. And look, those are boards. Those aren't even, laths and plaster down low. So we have perfect access to this sill. Keep the studs at the same height. Get the studs cut free or pull the nails and rip the joist out. Rip the outer sill out. And then properly notch joists onto this carrying beam. And that's not going to cut it. An L bracket is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it, guys. It's just not going to cut it. I mean, I understand that's probably there for just, horizontal placement to make sure it doesn't move. But this, we've got structure underneath it. That's fine. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot to talk about. It's a big project to do. And it depends on if they're going to do, if they want me to do it the right way, the cheap way, or the easy way, or the hard way, which is the hard way is always the right way, and it's always the more expensive way, But if this was easy, then everybody would do it. So let me know what you think in the comments. How much should this job be to replace any of the rotten joists, and then sheathe the floor with some good 3/4 inch plywood, or double 3/4 plywood. Also, should we make it level, or should we just go with the flow of the house, where it's leaning like this and leaning over here and leaning over there? Should we tap into the outer sill, or should we use the 16 penny nails on a scant rim joist that's just barely there. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate it.